Hey there. I started typing and I just realized that it's going to be so much easier if I just record a video. So it's awesome that you're trying to get a more clear sound. That's really great. And it's something that every musician works on. We always work on improving our sound. I still work on it today. I dedicate some time every day to make sure that I'm playing just with the sound I want. So, I'm going to talk basically about the things that you need to make a good sound, and then I'm going to give you just a couple of exercises that you can use at home so that you can make yourself better and you can improve on what you want to improve on, and with some work, get the sound that you want. So first things first. When we're talking about sound, technically speaking, we only need two things to make a sound on the clarinet. Two things. One of these is, of course, the air. And the other thing is our embouchure. So we just need air and embouchure. Technically, we don't need our fingers. We can just play an open G with air and embouchure, and that's it. And if you have great air but a weak embouchure, then you get this sound because the air escapes out of your mouth because your embouchure is weak. If you have a great embouchure but weak air, then you get a thin, sort of airy sound. So it's important that you have a great embouchure and great air. Okay? So with the air, something that I like to do a lot, and I'm going to walk around a little bit. I'm just walking around my house so I can help you. So something that I like to do is get a straw. Just any old straw will do. This is sort of about how thick this one is. And just blow into it. And this sort of simulates how small the bore of the clarinet is. It's like blowing through a little tiny thing. It's not a tuba. It's not like a air. It's a very fast air. So if you've got a straw, next time you practice your clarinet, blow into the straw and then blow into your clarinet on an open G, and just try to make your air like what you use when you blow through a straw. And I'll be interested, actually, if you don't mind just sort of testing this out and then typing a response to me and just sort of explaining like how it compared to the way you normally blow. Most of the time with my students, I give them a straw and I have them blow into it, and I ask them, is that normal or is that different from how you blow? And they're always like, I'm using a lot more air. So if you don't mind, that would be really great to send to me, because then I can help you a little bit further. The other thing you can do, and I'm not going to demonstrate it because it's too difficult for me to do right now on the fly, but if you grab like a regular piece of paper and you tear it into fourths, you can sort of stick the paper on the wall, just like with your hand, and then blow. And see if you can stick the paper to the wall with your air. So the combination of blowing into the straw and then without the straw, just trying to stick the paper to the wall with your air, that will tell you what your air really needs to be. The other thing, now let's talk about embouchure. Now firstly, when I say embouchure, I mean only lip muscles. All of these lip muscles. The jaw does not apply to embouchure. So when I explain all of this stuff about embouchure, it should not come from opening and closing your mouth. It should come strictly from kind of flexing these muscles that are right around your mouth. I guess it'd be easier to see if I didn't have a beard and mustache, sorry. So something I see very often from students is that they don't have the right part of their mouth touching the reed. So you see how lip skin, the spot where lip skin turns into face skin, there's a line right there. So that line is what should be touching the reed as the clarinet's in your mouth. So usually what this means for most people is they need to fold their lower lip inward more. And it just gives a better cushion, and it gives a better seal around the mouthpiece. That's what embouchure is for clarinet. We're creating a seal around the mouthpiece so that the air has no direction to go except through the instrument. If the embouchure is weak, the air can escape from the sides, or even if it's not quite firm enough on the upper lip, sometimes the air sort of floats around on the inside of your mouth, like in these areas, before it shoots through the instrument. So having that embouchure, that really nice seal around the mouthpiece, means that the air will only have one direction to go, and that's into the horn. And that's what gets you a really clear sound, when the air only goes into the horn. So to sort of explain that a little bit before I give you the exercise that you'll need to test this stuff out, is I'm going to draw you just a little diagram here. I hope you can see this. I'm using selfie mode on my phone. So this circle represents your embouchure. And I see a lot of people do their embouchure like this. And these arrows represent, if you imagine that your mouth is in an O shape surrounding the mouthpiece, these arrows represent the amount of engagement of the muscles. So as you can see on this circle here, let me make sure I line it up there. On this circle, most people have a lot of lower lip action, but the corners and their upper lip are hardly activated at all. So a lot of people do this, like that, and then they sort of spread out the rest of their mouth. But again, we're trying to make that perfect seal around the mouthpiece, and that's going to require your lips. If you imagine, like if you make an O, and then imagine that there's a rubber band around your lips, all going inward, flush against the mouthpiece. That's what we want. So I'll draw you another circle, and this is sort of more like what we need right there, where all of the lip muscles are equal. It's not all lower lip, it's everything is equal. So what this feels like to most people is a ton of inward on the corners. Okay, so I've given you the straw method. So blowing through a straw, that'll really help your air. I've sort of explained embouchure and told you to curl your lower lip in more. The big thing that you're going to be able to do, if you do it every day, your tone will get better phenomenally over the course of a week even, but especially over the course of several months. The big thing that you need to do is long tones. Now, most bands do their long tones like this. Da, da, da. And then you go on and go through that process. Does that sound familiar? So when you're playing in band, the goal of the long tones is to get the ensemble playing together and warmed up together. But when you're playing on long tones by yourself, your goal needs to be making your sound better. So what I like to do is I like to simply play and hold a note forever. Just play it and hold it. Don't even worry about rhythm, changing notes at a certain time. No. Just play and hold your note and use your ears to really, really listen to your sound. I mean, really listen to it. And if you play your long tones like this every day, where you're playing different notes in all the registers, high, low, and in the middle, even the notes that aren't your best friend, and you really, really listen to your sound, you'll start to hear how to make your sound the way you want it. So this was sort of a long video. It's like 10 minutes, but I hope that this helps. And please, if you have any other questions, or if you need to ask a question about something I said just now, don't hesitate to ask. Again, I just thought a video would be easier than typing all of this out. I'd even, if you want to record yourself playing, I'd be happy to give you another video with even more tips if you want. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you later. Good luck, and keep practicing.